out to you, my friends. This is Lakshmi here with your inspiration to be your best self. We are elevating humanity for a better world, and this inspiration is all based on the astrology and what's happening in our planets, in our cosmos, and with our stars, and how is that affecting us. Not so much affecting us, but just a reflection of what's happening internally for all of us as human beings on this planet. And this week is, it's just, this year is a lot. Let's just face it. Like every week I find myself saying it. There's a lot, it's intense. Intense is not necessarily bad. It just means that as we are expanding our capacity to handle life in a different way, then new energies are coming in, and we are definitely handling with a lot of stuff, a lot of feelings, a lot of emotions, a lot of changes and shifts that we've never dealt with in the past. So this week, what I want to talk about, first of all, just I would say the last few days, I'm recording this on Wednesday, the beginning of this week, looking at Monday and Tuesday, I know a lot of you, a lot of us have felt, I would just call it funky energy, all right? Just like kind of wobbly, kind of weird, hard to put your finger on it maybe. And I know a lot of you can put a finger on it, and some major stuff that are happening in your life, and especially in relationships. A lot of people are transitioning out of relationships, and vice versa. There's actually a lot of relationships that are beginning and people coming together. But nevertheless, we're just looking at big transitions and big shifts. And that wobbly feeling that you might have experienced or been experiencing in the last few days, it's like a twilight zone, because when the universe is getting ready, and again, if we look at the universe, just a reflection of us, as we are getting ready to shift gears, so to speak, which I'm going to talk about, what are the gears that we're shifting into, that in between feels sometimes unclear, weird. You want to make decisions, but it's like you don't really know where to go. Like so many things are coming at you, so many decisions, opportunities, and just weird, all right? So just remind you again that we have 4 planets in retrograde still. Okay, so Jupiter went direct, which we're going to feel that wobbliness until we get into the rhythm of Jupiter going direct. And then Mercury is getting ready to go direct on the 22nd, so in a few days. But we still have 4 planets in retrograde. Let's not forget that. That is big, big, big energy. And I've been saying this for so many weeks and in so many of my videos, that this is a time to slow down. It's not necessarily the best time to make major decisions, but it is time to slow down. It is time to get really grounded, to get very clear about who you are, what are your values, what do you want in your life, and how to move forward about those values, those directions that are becoming more and more clear. So as we are getting ready to shift gears and getting more clear and really taking the action steps, things feel a little wobbly. Now Mars is still in retrograde, and that is a huge influence in our lives and our psyches. And there's a lot of irritability that I know people have been feeling, and frustration. So much anger is coming up, okay? And it may be anger that has been suppressed for who knows how long, okay? So I want you to let it all come up and sit with it and be with it and acknowledge it. You don't have to lash out on people. That's not what I'm saying. But if you feel irritable, if you feel frustrated, if you feel like God, I just want to move forward, but you're not. Be patient with yourself, be gentle with yourself, and don't try to just warrior through it. This is not the time, okay? And one of the biggest things that are happening is that the sun is changing signs, and that's always a big transit. So the sun has been in Taurus for the last 20 something days, and it's going to move into Gemini on Friday. So we're looking at a loaded weekend, okay? And this is the energy that you've been feeling in the last few days of getting ready for all of this. So it's important to get grounded. It's important to be in your center and not like all over the place. So when those transits come in, you don't lose your shit. All right? I always like to say that. And that's how astrology can really help us navigate through the waves of life. All right? So Friday, the 20th, sun moving into Gemini. And I talked about all the Taurus energy that we've been experiencing with Venus in Taurus. Mercury is retrograde in Taurus. Sun has been in Taurus. So much of our values and so much of your own self-worth has been up for evaluation, especially with Mercury in retrograde in Taurus. It's to rethink, reevaluate, and communicate really, and speak your value, communicate your value, acknowledge it with yourself first and foremost, and then if it needs to be conveyed to other people in whatever situations. And that's why relationships are such an interesting game right now, because you feel this is my value, this is what I want, this is what I deserve, and things perhaps are not reflecting that anymore. So things need to change. And how do we change things? A lot of times, first we need to have the conversation, we need to communicate. So that has been a really big theme of your own self-worth and your value, and what do you value in life. But most importantly is how much you value yourself, and whatever is in your life that is not reflecting that value, you know, that's the thing. And that's why it's so hard for many people. It's the realizing that truth, that those things need to go. And if it's not so drastic of like those things need to go, those things need to change dramatically. And if they don't, then you've got to move forward. And so we're getting more into this forward movement now with Jupiter it went direct. Mercury is going to go direct. So that's another thing that is happening. So here's the lineup. Sun moving into Gemini on the 20th. And then the full moon is happening on Saturday, the 21st. Following day, the 22nd, which is Sunday, Mercury stations, it stops, or it looks like it stops, and then it's going to move forward again. It's going to go direct. So a very impactful weekend when it comes to, now really moving forward. These last few weeks of so much of introspection, so much of reevaluation, so much of inward, deep searching and looking and feeling, what do I want? What are my values? How much do I value myself? What do I deserve? Getting more clarity around all that. And so much of that clarity is now inviting you to take the steps and move forward. Not just keeping it in the mental, in just knowing, but acting according to that. All right? So this is the full moon in Sagittarius. It's truth. Sagittarius is truth. It's also faith. And it's thinking big. What are your belief systems, right? That's the full moon in Sagittarius. It's illuminating. What are your belief systems? And are you, whatever you're speaking, whatever it is that you are doing in your life, does it really reflect your beliefs about yourself, your beliefs about what you deserve, your beliefs about the world? Full moon in Sagittarius, big invitation for us to expand our mind, right? Gemini is all about the mind and the intellect. So the expansion, that's the invitation. Expanding your mind, expanding your thoughts, expanding your belief system, expanding your perceptions, and then speak. This is an invitation to speak. Speak up and move forward, because you know what, for a lot of you, it is a matter of speaking up. Like, you really need to speak up. And with this Mars in retrograde, the irritation that might have been building up, or frustration. And again, speaking up, it doesn't have to be aggressive, it doesn't have to be offending. It's just knowing your value, knowing your worth. Now you need to speak up. And that by itself is an act of moving forward, because for some of you, maybe speaking up is the most courageous act of self-love that can take place in your life. I want to encourage you to take that step, and speaking up can be very powerful when it's being done from a place of not triggered and being angry, but from a place of I'm just really realizing what I deserve, and I'm realizing my worth, and it's time for me to speak up and change the environment in my life, change the circumstances, change whatever situations that need to be changed in your life, okay? So another thing that is happening with that invitation to expand is that some hard decisions might need to be made. Hard decisions that are not so pleasing to the ego, maybe, or not so pleasing to the Gemini mind that just wants to, like, there's not too much depth there, but it's just like, all right, I just the next thing, what is the next thing? And there's some hard decisions that need to be made in order for that expansion to take place. All right, so all this reevaluation, all this introspection that we've been going through to come to a place of clarity and to realize, shoots, okay, I need to make some decisions that are not necessarily the easiest, but there's a deep knowing, Jupiter going direct, full moon in Sagittarius, you know deep that's your truth, and this is where you need to go, this is what you need to do in order to expand, and to really pay attention to the facts. You know, that's another thing with Gemini and Mercury going direct. It's like paying attention to the facts, and not just glance over the facts in your life and the details in your life and not pay attention. Mercury is really inviting us to pay attention to details, and make your choices according to what is very clear to you, that is helping you and assisting you in moving forward. And everything that you feel that has been keeping you stuck, that has been keeping you suppressed, maybe has been keeping your light a little too dimmed, if this is the time, this is the moment to make those decisions. And it might be, like I said, hard decisions, but that's what's going to move you forward. And you know, it's not a coincidence that we're having all this Gemini, Mercury, Sagittarius, Jupiter energy. Jupiter goes direct, and then we're having the full moon in Sagittarius. Sun is moving into Gemini, and then Mercury is going direct. So those planets are related to those signs. So there's a lot of the Gemini, Mercury, Jupiter, Sagittarius stuff going on. Lower mind, higher mind, making decisions, and not just being blind by blind optimism. It's beautiful. And okay, also we need to be practical, we need to pay attention to the details and blend both worlds, all right? Both worlds. Keep your vision high and strong, and also pay attention to the details, to reality, and what are the facts, and what exactly that you need to do in order to bring this vision, those visions into real time, all right? That's the message. That's the message for this week. And again, it's going to be a wild ride this week, and it's going to be a wild ride this weekend. Don't get too crazy. Don't travel too much. When Mercury is about to shift gears, I wouldn't recommend traveling or moving too much. Just stay as grounded as possible, as we are about to move into a more airy energy with Gemini. And as always, just be gentle with yourself. And I am sending you so much love, so much light and appreciation for who you are. If you want to book a personal reading with me, then go to my website, noalakshmi.com, soul signature readings, and get some clarity about what's happening specifically for you. Sending you tons of love. Stay awesome, stay beautiful, and be your best self, because we are elevating humanity for a better world. Sat Nam.